the science of bioluminescence in nature. Welcome back, night wanderers. Tonight we're diving into the deepest, darkest parts of our ocean, where something magical happens, where creatures don't just survive in the darkness, they create their own light. This is the science of bioluminescence. Get comfortable, adjust your pillows, and let yourself drift down with us into the glowing deep. Fact 1. Bioluminescence is the production and emission of light by living organisms through a chemical reaction. The word itself comes from the Greek bios, meaning life, and the Latin lumen, meaning light. It's one of nature's most elegant solutions to survival in darkness. Fact 2. The basic chemistry of bioluminescence requires just two key ingredients: a light-emitting molecule called luciferin and an enzyme called luciferase. When these two meet in the presence of oxygen, photons are released, creating cold light with almost no heat, nature's perfect LED. Fact 3. Bioluminescence has evolved independently at least 40 to 50 separate times throughout Earth's history. This remarkable convergent evolution suggests that creating light offers such significant advantages that nature has discovered the same solution again and again, across countless species. Fact 4. In the ocean, approximately 76% of all organisms found in the deep sea possess some form of bioluminescence. Down where sunlight cannot reach, creating your own light isn't just useful, it's practically standard equipment. Fact 5. The anglerfish, perhaps the most famous bioluminescent creature, carries a specialized dorsal spine that extends forward like a fishing rod. At its tip dangles a glowing lure called an esca, filled with billions of bioluminescent bacteria that shine continuously to attract prey in the absolute darkness. Fact 6. These bacterial symbionts living inside the anglerfish's lure aren't just passengers, they're partners. The anglerfish provides them with nutrients and a safe home, while the bacteria provide the light. It's one of nature's most intimate collaborations, happening at depths where humans would be crushed by pressure. Fact 7. The female anglerfish can be up to 60 times larger than the male. In some species, the tiny male permanently fuses to the female's body, literally becoming part of her, sharing her circulatory system and providing sperm when needed. He becomes little more than a living reproductive organ, though thankfully still bioluminescent. Fact 8. The dragonfish takes bioluminescence to another level entirely. While most deep-sea creatures produce blue or green light, which travels well through water, dragonfish can produce far-red bioluminescence, a color most other deep-sea creatures cannot see. Fact 9. This far-red light acts like a secret flashlight. The dragonfish can illuminate its prey without the prey knowing they're being watched. It's the ocean's version of night vision goggles, evolved millions of years before humans dreamed of such technology. Fact 10. The dragonfish's far-red vision comes from a remarkable adaptation. Their eyes contain specialized chlorophyll derivatives, borrowed through their diet, that allow them to see wavelengths other fish cannot. They've essentially created biological infrared goggles by eating the right food. Fact 11. Dinoflagellates are single-celled organisms that create one of the ocean's most spectacular displays: bioluminescent waves. When disturbed by movement, a swimmer's hand, a boat's hull, or even a fish passing by, they flash blue-green light for just a fraction of a second. Fact 12. This flash serves as a burglar alarm. When a small predator like a copepod tries to eat a dinoflagellate, the sudden burst of light attracts larger predators to the area. The dinoflagellate essentially says, "If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me," and calls in backup from above. Fact 13. Some beaches around the world glow blue at night due to massive blooms of bioluminescent dinoflagellates. Places like Mosquito Bay in Puerto Rico, Luminous Lagoon in Jamaica, and certain beaches in the Maldives offer this otherworldly experience: starlight reflected in the water and starlight created by the water. And if you're enjoying this gentle journey into the glowing deep, well, there's a little glowing button somewhere near this video. The subscribe button doesn't actually bioluminesce, sadly. That would be wonderful, but pressing it does help us create more of these sleepy science adventures. Fact 14. The firefly squid of Japan performs one of nature's most breathtaking light shows. Thousands of light-producing organs called photophores cover their bodies, allowing them to control patterns of light across their skin like a living, swimming constellation. Fact 15. Each spring, millions of firefly squid gather in Toyama Bay to spawn, creating an underwater galaxy. The display is so spectacular that it's designated a special natural monument by the Japanese government. Fishermen have harvested them for centuries, drawn to the ghostly blue glow that rises from the depths. Fact 16. The vampire squid, despite its ominous name, is actually a gentle creature that feeds on marine snow, the constant drift of organic debris falling from the upper ocean. When threatened, it turns itself inside out, exposing spiny projections and bioluminescent light organs in a defensive display that looks truly otherworldly. Fact 17. This inside-out transformation, called the pineapple posture, also releases clouds of bioluminescent mucus that can glow for up to 10 minutes. The vampire squid then slips away in the confusion while its predator is distracted by the glowing cloud, like a wizard vanishing in a puff of luminous smoke. Fact 18. The Attila jellyfish has developed what scientists call a burglar alarm display. When attacked, it creates a rotating pinwheel of blue light that pulses up to 2 times per second, lasting for several minutes. This spectacular display isn't to scare the immediate predator, it's to attract an even larger predator to the scene. Fact 19. Scientists nickname the Attila's light show the pinwheel of death, though really it's more of a pinwheel of please eat the thing that's eating me. This strategy, called bioluminescent counter-illumination predation, turns the dinner table into a dangerous place by inviting someone higher up the food chain to join the meal. Fact 20. The cookie-cutter shark, a small but fearsome predator, has a glowing collar around its neck. Well, not quite its neck, more like its throat area. This bright band of light mimics the silhouette of a small fish when viewed from below, luring larger predators up for investigation. Fact 21. When a larger fish comes to investigate what looks like an easy meal, the cookie-cutter shark attacks, using specially designed teeth to carve out a perfect circular plug of flesh before swimming away. Those bioluminescent collar cells, they're working as both bait and disguise, the ultimate false advertising. Fact 22. The strawberry squid has perhaps the most asymmetrical eyes in the animal kingdom, and for good reason. Its left eye is twice the size of its right eye. The large eye looks upward, scanning for the silhouettes of prey above, while the smaller eye looks downward into the darkness, searching for bioluminescent flashes below. Fact 23. This squid essentially has binocular vision split between 2 different purposes and 2 different depths. Evolution has crafted a creature with built-in specialized equipment, one eye for daylight hunting, one for bioluminescent detection. It's wearing 2 different types of glasses at once. Fact 24. Comb jellies or ctenophores create a different kind of light show entirely. They don't produce their own light through chemistry, but rather through physics. Tiny hair-like structures called cilia beat in coordinated waves, diffracting light into rainbow colors that ripple across their transparent bodies. Fact 25. While comb jellies aren't technically bioluminescent, many species are. They produce green or blue light through true bioluminescence, and when combined with the rainbow diffraction from their cilia, they become swimming prisms, living jewelry drifting through the dark water, equal parts physics demonstration and magic trick. Fact 26. The midshipman fish gets its name from the rows of photophores along its body that resemble the buttons on a naval uniform. These lights serve a dual purpose: camouflage through counter-illumination, and communication during mating season when males create their distinctive humming calls from shallow waters. Fact 27. Counter-illumination is one of the most sophisticated uses of bioluminescence. Creatures like the hatchetfish and the midshipman fish have light organs on their undersides that match the dim light filtering down from above. This erases their shadow, making them invisible to predators looking up from below. Fact 28. The hatchetfish's light organs are so precise they can adjust their brightness based on the ambient light level, the depth they're swimming at, and even the angle they're tilted. It's like having automatic dimmer switches covering your belly, constantly recalibrating to keep you hidden in plain sight. Fact 29. Lanternfish are among the most abundant vertebrates on Earth, with an estimated biomass of 650 million tons. Every night, they perform the largest migration of animal life on the planet, rising from the deep ocean to feed near the surface, then descending again before dawn, a daily journey of several hundred meters, all while glowing. Fact 30. This vertical migration, called diel-vertical migration, is so massive it can be detected by sonar from ships. During World War II, naval operators discovered what they called the deep scattering layer, a false seafloor on their equipment that rose and fell each day. It wasn't the ocean floor at all, but countless billions of lanternfish and other creatures commuting between the depths and the surface. Fact 31. The crystal jelly, Equoria victoria, revolutionized modern biology despite being a simple, translucent organism. From this unassuming jellyfish, scientists isolated green fluorescent protein, GFP, which would become one of the most important tools in molecular biology and earn its discoverers the Nobel Prize in 2008. Fact 32. Green fluorescent protein doesn't produce light on its own through chemical reactions. Instead, it absorbs blue light and re-emits it as green light, a process called fluorescence. In the crystal jelly, this works in partnership with a blue bioluminescent protein, creating a two-stage light show that converts blue light to the more visible green. Fact 33. Today, scientists use GFP to track cell processes, watch neurons fire in real time, map cancer growth, and observe how embryos develop. This glowing protein from a jellyfish has illuminated countless mysteries of biology, turning cells and organs into their own light shows under the microscope. Fact 34. The bobtail squid of Hawaiian waters has formed one of nature's most studied symbiotic relationships. These small squid actively farm colonies of Vibrio fischeri bacteria in a special light organ in their bodies, maintaining the bacteria with nutrients and oxygen while harvesting their glow for camouflage. Fact 35. Each morning at dawn, the bobtail squid expels 95% of its bacterial colony back into the ocean. Throughout the day, the remaining bacteria multiply in the squid's light organ, reaching full brightness again by nightfall. It's a daily cycle of cultivation and harvest, repeated throughout the squid's life, a tiny farmer tending a microscopic glowing field. The deeper we go, the stranger and more wondrous these adaptations become. Each creature we meet has spent millions of years perfecting its particular version of living light. Fact 36. The loose-jawed dragonfish can open its mouth to an angle of 120 degrees, thanks to a jaw that's barely connected to the rest of its skull. This allows it to swallow prey up to half its own body length, all while maintaining the bioluminescent barbel that dangles beneath its chin like a glowing fishing line with teeth at one end. Fact 37. Some species of ostracod, tiny crustaceans often called sea fireflies, use bioluminescence for courtship in a way that resembles underwater fireworks. Males release clouds of glowing chemicals while swimming in species-specific patterns, creating luminous trails and pulses designed to attract females watching from the seafloor below. Fact 38. Each ostracod species has its own signature display. Some create ascending spirals, others make figure eights or straight vertical lines with perfectly timed pulses. It's a language of light, with each species speaking its own dialect to ensure they attract the right partner in the crowded darkness. Fact 39. The black dragonfish is entirely black, not just dark, but actually black, covered in ultra-black skin that absorbs 99.5% of light that hits it. This makes it nearly invisible in the deep ocean, even to other creatures with bioluminescence, because any light that touches it simply disappears rather than reflecting back. Fact 40. This ultra-black skin is covered with specialized structures that trap and scatter light, preventing reflection. It's similar to the technology used in stealth aircraft, but evolved naturally millions of years ago. The black dragonfish is a stealth fighter of the deep, invisible even when illuminated, the ultimate ambush predator in a world of living light. Fact 41. The siphonophore, a colonial organism made up of thousands of individual animals working together as one, can grow to lengths exceeding 40 meters, making it one of the longest creatures on Earth. Many species are bioluminescent, creating chains of light that drift through the ocean like luminous curtains hanging in the darkness. Fact 42. Each individual animal in a siphonophore colony, called a zooid, has a specialized job. Some handle feeding, others reproduction, still others propulsion or defense. The bioluminescent zooids serve as the colony's light department, flashing in coordinated patterns that run the length of this impossibly long creature like Christmas lights on a living string. Fact 43. The glowing sucker octopus lives at depths between 1 and 4,000 meters, where it has developed over 40 light-producing organs embedded directly into the suckers on its arms. When threatened, it can create waves of light that pulse along its tentacles, potentially confusing predators about which end is which. Fact 44. These bioluminescent suckers also serve another purpose. They may help the octopus gauge distances in the dark by detecting how its own light reflects off nearby surfaces. It's a biological version of echolocation, but using light instead of sound, a way of feeling out the world through luminescence. Fact 45. The stoplight lucijaw fish produces red bioluminescence, an extremely rare trait in the deep sea. While most ocean creatures produce blue or green light, the stoplight lucijaw has evolved special red light organs beneath its eyes, along with red-sensitive vision that allows it to see this crimson illumination. Fact 46. This red light is essentially invisible to other deep-sea creatures, whose eyes have evolved to detect the blue and green wavelengths most common in bioluminescence. The stoplight lucijaw swims through the darkness, shining a private spotlight that only it can see, hunting prey that have no idea they're being illuminated and watched. Fact 47. The Hawaiian bobtail squid's light organ contains not just bacteria, but a complex system of reflectors, lenses, and light guides that would impress any optical engineer. These structures precisely direct the bacterial light downward to match the moonlight and starlight filtering from above, creating perfect counter-illumination. Fact 48. The squid's light organ can even adjust its output based on moon phases. During full moons, when more light filters down from above, the squid allows its bacteria to glow brighter. During new moons, it dims the colony. It's reading the sky from underwater and adjusting its camouflage accordingly, night after night. Fact 49. Tomopterous worms are among the few creatures that produce yellow bioluminescence, a color so rare in the ocean that scientists were initially skeptical when it was first reported. These transparent swimming worms release clouds of glowing yellow particles when disturbed, like tiny golden fireworks in slow motion. Fact 50. The yellow color may serve a specific purpose. It's more visible against the blue-green background of most bioluminescence, making the warning display more attention-grabbing to potential predators. In a world where blue and green are the standard, yellow becomes the emergency broadcast color, impossible to ignore. Fact 51. Psyllid worms, small marine creatures found in shallow waters, put on one of nature's most peculiar reproductive light shows. During mating season, special reproductive segments break off from the main worm's body and swim to the surface, glowing brightly to attract mates while the original worm remains safely on the seafloor. Fact 52. These glowing reproductive segments, called epitokes, swarm together at the surface in massive numbers during specific lunar phases, creating what looks like an underwater meteor shower in reverse, lights rising from the depths instead of falling from the sky. After mating, the epitokes die, while the parent worms below begin growing new reproductive segments for next season. Fact 53. The cockatoo squid, with its distinctive spiky appearance, possesses light organs throughout its body cavity that it can control independently. When threatened, it can create traveling waves of light across its body, or flash different sections in seemingly random patterns, designed to confuse and overwhelm predators. Fact 54. Some researchers believe the cockatoo squid's elaborate light displays might also serve as a form of communication between individuals, though the language, if it exists, remains undeciphered. We're watching conversations in light that we cannot yet understand, messages passed between glowing creatures in the dark. Fact 55. The northern krill, Meganictophanes norvegica, has 10 light organs on its body that can produce some of the brightest bioluminescence in the animal kingdom relative to its size. These lights are so intense they can be seen with the naked eye from the surface when the krill come near. Fact 56. Scientists have discovered that krill can control their bioluminescence with remarkable precision, adjusting not just brightness, but also the duration and pattern of flashes. They might use these signals to maintain the cohesion of massive swarms containing millions of individuals, a city of lights moving as one through the ocean. Fact 57. The scaleless dragonfish not only produces bioluminescence, but also has teeth that are transparent. These teeth contain nanoscale structures that prevent light reflection, making them invisible in the darkness. Even when the dragonfish opens its jaws to strike, the prey often doesn't see the teeth coming until it's too late. Fact 58. These invisible teeth are stronger than piranha teeth despite being transparent, thanks to their unique nanostructured arrangement. Evolution has created something that seems impossible: teeth that are simultaneously invisible, incredibly strong, and perfectly suited for ambush hunting in the deep sea, natural engineering at its finest. Fact 59. The barrel-eye fish, with its transparent dome-shaped head, has tubular eyes that point upward to detect the silhouettes of prey against the faint light from above. But here's the remarkable part. Recent discoveries show it can rotate its eyes forward to look ahead while its mouth captures prey, all while we can watch its eyes move inside its transparent skull. Fact 60. Though the barrel-eye fish itself doesn't produce much bioluminescence, it's exquisitely adapted to detect even the faintest biological light from other creatures. Its large, sensitive eyes are like satellite dishes for photons, gathering every stray bit of light in an environment where light is the most precious resource. We're halfway through our journey now, drifting through depths where the strange becomes normal, where impossible becomes everyday. The pressure here would crush us, yet life doesn't just survive, it shines. Fact 61. The pompum anemone, while not a deep-sea creature, demonstrates bioluminescence in a unique way. These small anemones are often carried by pompum crabs, who hold them in their claws like glowing pom-poms, both for defense and to sweep food particles into their mouths. The anemones glow when disturbed, adding a visual warning to their stinging cells. Fact 62. This relationship benefits both organisms. The crab gets protection and a food-gathering tool, while the anemones get transportation and access to food scraps. It's a partnership sealed with light, a glowing contract between two species that have learned to thrive together in ways neither could alone. Fact 63. The sea pansy, despite its plant-like name, is actually a colonial cnidarian related to corals and jellyfish. When touched or disturbed, waves of blue-green bioluminescence ripple across its feather-like structure, traveling from the point of contact outward like ripples on a luminous pond. Fact 64. This wave of light serves as a startle response, potentially surprising predators long enough for the sea pansy to contract and partially bury itself in the sand. It's a flashbang defense mechanism, buying crucial seconds through surprise, proof that sometimes the best defense is to be briefly, brilliantly visible before disappearing. Fact 65. The sparkling anope squid has light organs that face forward, unlike most squid whose photophores point downward for counter-illumination. This forward-facing arrangement suggests the squid uses its lights for illumination while hunting, essentially carrying its own headlights into the darkness. Fact 66. Scientists have observed these squid creating synchronized light patterns with other individuals, flashing in coordinated sequences that might represent communication, courtship displays, or hunting coordination. We're witnessing something that might be a language, expressed not in sound or gesture, but in carefully timed pulses of living light. Fact 67. The threadfin dragonfish has a bioluminescent barbel extending from its chin that can be up to 3 times the length of its body. This extraordinary fishing line dangles far below the fish, glowing and twitching to mimic a small swimming organism, luring prey from unexpected angles while the dragonfish floats motionless above. Fact 68. What's even more remarkable is that the threadfin dragonfish can retract this entire barbel into a groove along its body, like reeling in a fishing line. When not actively hunting, it tucks away its light to avoid attracting unwanted attention, a predator that can turn its lure on and off as needed. Fact 69. Pyrosums are colonial tunicates that form hollow tubes which can grow to several meters in length. The entire colony bioluminesces together, creating glowing cylinders drifting through the ocean that can be bright enough to read by if you were somehow swimming alongside one in the darkness. Fact 70. These colonies are made of thousands of individual animals, each just a few millimeters long, working in perfect synchronization. When one individual detects a stimulus, the light response travels through the colony in waves, turning the entire tube into a pulsing beacon, a biological fiber optic cable, hollow and drifting through the sea. Fact 71. The cookie-cutter shark's bioluminescent collar, which we mentioned earlier, has an additional fascinating detail. The shark can actually control this light's intensity. It can dim it to make its silhouette even more convincing, or brighten it to attract prey from greater distances, like a dimmer switch evolved for deception. Fact 72. Recent research suggests that cookie-cutter sharks may use their bioluminescence not just for luring prey, but also for recognizing other cookie-cutter sharks. The specific pattern and intensity of the glowing collar might serve as a species recognition signal, preventing them from accidentally attacking each other in the dark. Fact 73. The Maris orthicana, a type of siphonophore, creates one of the most beautiful displays of bioluminescence in the ocean. Its bell-shaped zooids pulse with light in coordinated waves, making the entire colony look like a string of glowing bells chiming silently through the water, a carillon of light with no sound, ringing in the deep. Fact 74. Each bell in this living chain can contract independently, providing propulsion, while the light flashes serve to startle predators. But watching them pulse in sequence, it's hard not to see artistry, as if evolution has accidentally created something beautiful while solving the simple problem of survival. Fact 75. The Dana octopus squid has large light organs on the tips of its arms that it can flash rapidly when threatened. But it uses them in an unexpected way. It shoots its arms toward a predator while flashing these lights, essentially throwing glowing punches that startle and confuse, a boxing match conducted with bioluminescent fists. Fact 76. This squid can also eject its arm tips entirely when severely threatened, leaving behind glowing decoys that continue to flash while the squid escapes. It's a combination of a lizard dropping its tail and a smoke bomb, executed with living light, the ultimate sacrifice play, losing a piece of itself to preserve the whole. Fact 77. Some species of brittle stars possess bioluminescent arms that can detach and continue glowing independently after separation from the central disk. These autonomous arms writhe and flash for several minutes, creating multiple moving light sources that confuse predators about which glowing thing is actually the brittle star. Fact 78. The brittle star then regenerates the lost arms over time, growing new light-producing organs in the process. It's a reusable defense mechanism. Spend light and flesh now, regrow them later. A cost-benefit analysis calculated in bioluminescent currency over evolutionary timescales. Fact 79. The umbrella jellyfish, Eutenina indicans, demonstrates one of the fastest bioluminescent responses in nature. When stimulated, light flashes across its bell in less than 1/20th of a second, creating an instant burst that can startle predators into hesitation, long enough for the jellyfish to pulse away into the darkness. Fact 80. This hair-trigger response requires specialized nerve pathways that connect light-producing cells across the entire bell structure, allowing nearly instantaneous communication from the point of contact to every photosite. It's a neural network evolved for one purpose: to transform touch into light at the speed of nerve impulses, turning every collision into a flash of defensive brilliance. Fact 81. The viperfish, with its disproportionately large teeth and hinged skull, uses bioluminescent photophores arranged along its body to attract prey. But these lights serve a dual purpose. They also act as a form of disruptive camouflage, breaking up the fish's outline when viewed from the side, making it harder for both prey and predators to recognize its true shape. Fact 82. Viperfish have photophores inside their mouths as well. When they open their jaws, they create a glowing trap, a cave of light that smaller fish might swim toward, investigating what appears to be a concentration of bioluminescent prey, only to find themselves becoming the meal instead. The viperfish has turned its mouth into a luminous ambush. Fact 83. The deep-sea hatchetfish has evolved one of the most sophisticated counter-illumination systems known. It possesses light organs that can produce different intensities across its belly, precisely matching not just the overall brightness from above, but also replicating the gradual decrease in light intensity from front to back as objects get farther from the sun. Fact 84. This gradient matching requires the hatchetfish to process information about ambient light, its own depth, its orientation, and then adjust dozens of individual photophores independently. It's performing complex calculus in real time, solving differential equations of light and shadow just to remain invisible. Mathematical camouflage computed by a fish brain smaller than a pea. Fact 85. Certain species of scaleworms carry bioluminescent bacteria on specialized scales called elytra on their backs. When disturbed, they can jettison these scales, which continue glowing as they drift away, creating multiple glowing decoys while the worm itself, now scaleless and dark, slips away unnoticed in the confusion. Fact 86. These sacrificial scales regenerate over time, like a renewable resource. The scaleworm essentially grows its own supply of emergency flares, biological countermeasures it can deploy and then replenish. It's a living decoy launcher, restocking its ammunition through simple cell division and growth. Fact 87. The glass squid family, largely transparent to avoid detection, presents an interesting challenge. How do you hide your eyes, which are necessarily dark and visible? Some glass squid have evolved bioluminescent organs right beneath their eyes, creating light that exactly matches the intensity filtering down from above, effectively erasing their eyes from view when seen from below. Fact 88. This eye camouflage must adjust constantly as the squid moves through different depths and as sunlight changes throughout the day. The squid is essentially wearing adaptive headlight covers that match ambient conditions in real time, making even its most visible features disappear into the background glow. Fact 89. Certain deep-sea jellies in the family Attalidae don't just produce their own bioluminescence, they also steal it. After consuming bioluminescent prey, they can incorporate the prey's light-producing chemicals into their own tissues, temporarily gaining bioluminescent capabilities they didn't originally possess. It's dietary light theft, borrowed glow acquired through eating. Fact 90. This kleptobioluminescence, as scientists call it, allows these jellies to flash predator-attracting distress signals when threatened, even though they cannot produce the necessary chemicals themselves. They've outsourced their light production to their food, then repurposed it for defense, a remarkable example of biological recycling. Fact 91. The strawberry squid we mentioned earlier has another fascinating adaptation. Its bioluminescent organs contain highly reflective crystals made of purines, the same chemicals that form parts of our DNA. These crystals act as mirrors and lenses, amplifying and directing the light produced by the squid's photocytes with remarkable efficiency. Fact 92. Scientists studying these reflective crystals have found them to be more efficient than many human-made reflectors. The squid grows optical equipment inside its own body that rivals laboratory instruments in precision and performance. Evolution has created a photonics engineer, building advanced optics one protein at a time. Fact 93. Midwater jellies of the genus Periphylla have been observed creating synchronized light displays when multiple individuals are in proximity. While the purpose isn't fully understood, hypotheses include coordinated hunting, mating displays, or even territorial warnings. The possibility that jellyfish, brainless as they are, might coordinate their actions through light signals. Fact 94. These synchronized displays occur without any central nervous system to coordinate them, without a brain to process timing. The jellies respond to each other's light through simple neural networks, creating emergent complexity from simple rules. A light show orchestrated by reflex and chemical timing, beautiful in its mindlessness. Fact 95. The alarm jellyfish, Attala wyvale, which we've discussed before, has inspired new technologies in marine research. Scientists have created artificial versions of its pinwheel of death display, using these biomimetic lures to attract and study deep-sea predators that are otherwise nearly impossible to observe in their natural habitat. Fact 96. These artificial lures have revealed entire communities of deep-sea life that were previously unknown, including new species of sharks and fish. The alarm jellyfish's defense mechanism, refined over millions of years, has become a tool for human discovery, evolution's design helping us understand the very environment that shaped it. Fact 97. Some species of lanternfish have different light organ arrangements between males and females, a phenomenon called sexual dimorphism in bioluminescence. Males might have more prominent lights or different patterns, helping individuals identify potential mates of the correct species in the darkness, a requirement when hundreds of similar species swim in the same dark waters. Fact 98. This bioluminescent sexual dimorphism serves as both identification and advertisement. The lights effectively say, I am the right species, I am the right sex, I am ready to mate. Three essential pieces of information compressed into a pattern of living light, a dating profile written in photons. Fact 99. Parchment tube worms, which live in papery tubes attached to the seafloor, produce green bioluminescent mucus that they spread on the inside of their tubes. When disturbed, they retreat deep inside, and the glowing mucus creates a keep out sign that may warn predators of toxins or simply startle them with unexpected light. Fact 100. This home-based defense system is effectively bioluminescent architecture. The worm has constructed its dwelling to be both shelter and alarm system. It lives inside its own warning signal, safe in a tube that says danger in the universal language of unexpected light. We're nearing the end of our journey, but there are still mysteries in the deep. Still lights we haven't seen, still strategies nature hasn't finished revealing. Fact 101. And here we arrive at our final fact, though really it's not an ending but an opening. The final truth about bioluminescence is this: we've only explored about 5% of the ocean. Every deep-sea expedition discovers new bioluminescent species, new light-producing mechanisms, new strategies for survival through living light that evolution has been perfecting for over 700 million years. In the deepest parts of the ocean, where no sunlight has penetrated for millions of years, where the pressure would crush human bones to powder, where the cold is absolute and the darkness total, life not only survives but creates its own light. It glows, it signals, it dances with photons it manufactures from its own chemistry. Bioluminescence reminds us that life finds a way, not just to endure but to illuminate. In the most hostile environment on our planet, where everything conspires against existence, creatures have learned to paint with light, to write messages in momentary brightness, to transform darkness into possibility. These creatures don't know they're remarkable. The anglerfish dangling its bacterial lantern doesn't know it's carrying a scientific marvel. The dinoflagellate flashing its burglar alarm doesn't know it's part of the most common form of light production on Earth. The dragonfish hunting with invisible red light doesn't know it's using wavelengths most of the ocean cannot see. They simply exist, as they have for epochs beyond human counting, doing what evolution has equipped them to do, surviving in the dark by making their own stars, their own constellations, their own quiet galaxies in the deep. And perhaps that's the most profound lesson the bioluminescent creatures teach us, that light doesn't only come from above, from the sun, from the sky. Sometimes it comes from within. Sometimes darkness is just an invitation to create your own illumination. The ocean's glowing creatures are still down there now, as you listen to this, as you drift towards sleep. Billions of living lights pulsing in patterns we're only beginning to understand, having conversations in luminescence we cannot yet translate, practicing strategies of survival that predate our species by hundreds of millions of years. They are ancient. They are alien. They are here on our planet, sharing this world with us, reminding us that Earth holds more mysteries than we could exhaust in 1,000 lifetimes of looking. And somewhere in those depths, right now, a creature we've never seen is producing light in a way we haven't discovered. A new species is flashing a pattern we don't recognize. A larvae is learning to glow for the first time, its photophores activating as genetic programming older than mountains tells it. Now, in this darkness, you must become your own light. The deep sea keeps its secrets, but it also keeps making new ones. Evolution hasn't stopped. The light shows continue. The bioluminescent revolution that began nearly 1 billion years ago is still unfolding, still inventing, still illuminating the dark. Think of them as you fall asleep tonight. The anglerfish with their bacterial lanterns, the firefly squid painting the water with 1,000 points of light, the dinoflagellates ready to flash at the slightest disturbance, the dragonfish hunting with colors only they can see, the jellies pulsing their ancient warnings, the squid calculating their camouflage, the worms tossing their glowing scales, the bacteria cultivated in living light organs, the plankton drifting and glowing, glowing and drifting. Countless billions of them, creating more light than all the fireflies on land. They are a reminder that darkness is temporary, that life adapts, that even in the deepest, coldest, most pressurized places where survival seems impossible, something lives, and not just lives, glows. So rest now, sleep peacefully. While you dream in the darkness of your bedroom, miles below the ocean's surface, the light show continues. It has continued for 700 million years. It will continue long after we're gone. The ocean glows. Life persists. And in the morning, when you wake to the light of our sun, remember that the darkness below holds its own illumination, quieter, stranger, infinitely more ancient, but no less beautiful. Sleep well, friends. The deep sea's lights will keep their watch while you rest. In the quiet spaces between facts, between knowledge and wonder, let your mind drift back down into those dark waters. Imagine you're floating at a depth where sunlight becomes memory, where pressure equalizes around you, where the temperature drops to just above freezing. And then from somewhere in the darkness ahead, a single point of blue light appears, flickers, disappears. Then another off to your left, a brief green flash. You're suspended in inner space, in Earth's own alien world, and all around you, invisible creatures are writing messages in light you're only beginning to read. A string of lights appears below you, rising slowly. It's a siphonophore, 40 meters long, covered in pulsing bells of bioluminescence. It drifts past like a ghost train through the water, each car glowing in sequence. You watch it disappear into the black above. Something moves at the edge of your perception. You turn, and a dragonfish hangs there, absolutely still, its lure dangling beneath its chin like a glowing question mark. It doesn't see you. You aren't real in this meditation. You're just an observer, a consciousness floating in the deep, watching the eternal light show that has played here since before mammals walked on land. Below you now the seafloor, though you can't see it in the darkness. But you know it's there because suddenly the sediment begins to glow. Dozens of brittle stars, disturbed by something passing, flash their warnings. The seafloor ripples with light, like stars reflecting in a pond. Then darkness again. Time moves differently here. A flash of light might be a warning that saves a life, or ends one. Might be a mating call that leads to new existence. Might be a burglar alarm calling for help that will never come. Each photon is precious. Each flash is expensive in metabolic terms. Nothing glows here without purpose. And yet to our human eyes it looks like art, like poetry written in light, like beauty for its own sake. You're becoming drowsy now. The cold, dark water is peaceful. You're safe in this meditation, just watching, just drifting. An Attila jellyfish spins past, not alarmed, just moving through its domain. Its bell pulses gently, a relaxed heartbeat of light, rhythmic, soothing. Pulse, darkness, pulse, darkness. Somewhere far above you, the moon pulls the tides. Stars wheel across the sky. The sun will rise eventually, as it always does. But here in the deep, time is marked not by the sun but by the slow drift of marine snow, by the patient hunt of predators, by the flash and fade of bioluminescence. Here, the only light that matters is the light life makes for itself. A school of lanternfish passes by, hundreds of them all glowing softly. They're migrating upward for the night, going to feed in the upper waters. They move past you like a river of stars, like a galaxy spinning slowly through the darkness. You could count them, but why count stars? Better to simply watch, simply appreciate. Your breathing is slowing, matching the rhythm of the ocean's invisible currents, in and out, in and out. The darkness is complete now. You've drifted below even the bioluminescent creatures. Nothing lives at this depth. Just darkness and pressure and cold and peace. But even here in the deepest trenches, life has been found. Bacteria that live in the sediment, creating light so dim it's barely measurable. But it's there. Life insisting on itself even here, even now. Rest now in this darkness, this deep, peaceful darkness, where the ocean holds you gently, where pressure equalizes, where temperature stabilizes, where everything is quiet. You're safe here in this meditation, safe in your bed, warm and comfortable, while your mind drifts in the cold deep. The bioluminescent creatures are still there, even though we've stopped talking about them. Still hunting, hiding, signaling, surviving. The anglerfish waits with eternal patience. The dragonfish scans the dark with red light. The dinoflagellates drift, ready to flash. The bacteria glow in their hosts, and the darkness holds them all. As we drift toward the end of our journey, toward sleep, let's surface slowly. Rising through the darkness, past the anglerfish zone, past the twilight waters. The light from above begins to penetrate, deep blue at first, then lighter. You can see the surface now, far above, sunlight streaming down in shafts through the water. But you carry the deep with you, the memory of bioluminescence, the knowledge that beneath every ocean life glows. Breaking the surface now, gentle waves, the sun is setting, or rising, time has lost meaning. You're back in your room, in your bed, warm and safe. But a part of you remembers the deep, the pressure, the darkness, the light. The anglerfish dangling its lure. The dragonfish with invisible red light. The firefly squid covered in constellations. The dinoflagellates ready to flash. The vampire squid turning inside out. All of them still down there, still glowing. And you here, drifting toward sleep, toward dreams. Perhaps you'll dream of the deep sea tonight. Perhaps you'll dream of bioluminescence. Perhaps you'll dream of being your own light, in your own darkness. Rest now. The ocean glows. Life persists. And you are safe. Warm. Peaceful. Drifting. Sleep well. Good night.